Okay, so we'll now discuss about the disposal of factory overhead balance. So during the year, the balance in the factory overhead account is carried forward and reported as a deferred debit or credit on the monthly balance sheets. However, any balance in the factory overhead account should not carry over to the next year. This is because any such balance applies only to operations of the current year. If the estimates for computing the predetermined overhead rate is reasonably accurate, the ending balance of factory overhead should be relatively small. For this reason, the balance of factory overhead at the end of the year is disposed of by transferring it to the cost of goods sold account. So as follows. So again, if it's if the ending balance if the ending balance is debit or under applied overhead in the factory overhead account, it is to be disposed as follows. So you credit cost of goods sold and you credit factory overhead. And if there is an ending credit balance or over application in the factory overhead, so you debit factory overhead and you credit cost of goods sold. So that would be transferred. Okay. So how about work in process? So during the period, okay, I'll just erase this one. So during the period, work in process is increased for the following. So work in process is increased by the following: direct materials, direct labor, and applied factory overhead. So let's take an example. Okay, so let's look for an example. So at the end of March, Company A had completed jobs 1 and 2. So jobs 101 and 102. Okay, for jobs 101, that was 500 units. For job 102, that's 1,000 units. So using the data that we have previously used, we now determine the balance on the job cost sheets for job 101 and 102 at the end of March, and the cost per unit for job 01 for per job at the end of March. So let's answer A first. Okay, let's use green one. Okay, so this is job 101 and job 102. So I'll try to provide a separate what do you call this one, PDF for reference for this one. So direct materials as previously computed was 2,400 and 4,200. Direct labor is at 12,800 and 7,200, and factory overhead is 3,200 and 2,400. So that's 18,400 and 13,800 for job 102. So as to the, what do you call this one? As to the cost per unit for jobs 101 and 102, so we simply, for job 101, we simply divide 18,400 by 500 units. So that would be 36.80. And for job 102, that's 13,800 over 1,000 units. So that's 13.8. Okay, so it's just as easy as that. Okay, thank you.